So for the use of force video, there's a scenario where there's a new correctional officer. Um, she's within a week of recently being hired and on the job, and she sees a correctional officer that's roughing up an inmate by specifically pushing them after what the inmate didn't do what he asked the inmate to do. And she's split between deciding what she needs to do in that kind of situation. Um, Seeing that correctional officers are supposed to support each other in that correctional facility environment with the inmates around. Uh, for I or for me, I would approach it um, in stages. And the first stage, I wouldn't rush to report the correctional officer for their behavior. I would approach the correctional officer that was roughing up the inmate. Ask them like why they're pushing and roughing up the inmate. Um, their reasoning behind why they're doing it. Was it uh, the right measure to take care of that situation and problem? And if that corrects it right there, perfect. If not, move up to um, seeing as this correctional officer was newer and very likely will not have seniority or supervisory authority on this correctional officer. Um, they could grab another correctional officer that's slightly more experienced, tell them about the situation, and then the two of them go approach this correctional officer about their behavior. And if that doesn't correct it, then they can go. What I would say is the third and last option is reporting it to supervisory authority. Um, I'm not necessarily familiar with the correctional officer uh, chain of command, whether it'd be appropriate to go to an assistant warrant for that, or maybe like a lieutenant or a captain, but somebody who has supervisory authority over that correctional officer, bringing it up to them about their behavior and what they're doing, and how it just kind of seems suspicious for the measures that they're taking on this inmate for the problem that the inmate is giving the correctional officer, which doesn't seem to be like a huge problem. The inmates mishearing something or not catching something um, due to a number of reasons, whether it's like a medical issue where they're just hard of hearing or they're working in a loud environment. That needs to be considered, but it's also a possibility that the inmate is playing possum and just not listening, being ignorant to the commands. So of course that needs to be considered as well. Both point of views. That's how I'd approach, or what I would tell this new correction officer Renee to approach the situation, taking steps. There's no need to go all the way to the extreme and report it to the supervisory authority unless the behavior is extreme. If the example is like kicking and punching an inmate for something that like small, then probably could escalate it directly to a supervisory authority. But if it's something like this, take it in steps. The behavior continues and move up those stages.